Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow. We got that. Thank you so very much. Good morning. My name is Bob Fonti. I am the chair of the Suffolk County Alliance of Chambers. We are celebrating our 11th year because of you and many of you. So I want to say thank you so very much to those that have been around and helping us be so successful. It gives me great pleasure to kick off this breakfast here at the Suffolk YJCC, and I want to thank them for giving us this space. As you see, this is their Hall of Fame, and these are the ones that made the sacrifice to be leaders, just like you do every day in the business community.
I'm just going to give you a few snippets from what is happening in Suffolk County as far as economic development. The county administers a downtown revitalization grants program, now in its 23rd round. This year, we are awarding $550,000 to 17 projects. The legislature recently unanimously adopted the county executive's Working Waterfronts, which is a first in New York State program, and earlier this year approved an appropriation of $9.5 million. The program pretty much, without getting into too many details, mirrors the Farmland Preservation Act. As reported at your last meeting by Suffolk County, we know the ability of businesses to expand is linked to wastewater. The county launched earlier this year a small business sewer grant pilot program for businesses located in our county sewer districts. And it's really a grant and loan program in order to help those small businesses to connect and to defray some of those costs. We also launched a small business loan program through our Economic Development Corporation and have successfully issued 66 loans totaling $3.3 million. We also facilitate the application of qualifying businesses to apply for the foreign trade zone. Our message from Suffolk County and its Department of Economic Development is that we are open for business, and we match your commitment and drive to make our communities, downtowns, and businesses successful.
Jim Mazzarella is actually leading the charge on the economic development, along with some other speakers you'll hear. But you're going to be hearing the theme of preservation, economic development. There's a balance, and unless we preserve, we cannot live here, right? Many thanks today to our breakfast sponsor, Cocoa Group, Deb and Cocoa. We want to thank the Suffolk JCC, Rick Lewis and Jennifer Wicks, for the kind use of their space today. Our Bagel Chalet, East Northport, for the yummy baked goods, that also is sponsored, so we're very fortunate. Lakeith was doing a legal update. Luckily, he said there is none, so I guess we don't have to pay his bill. Our current financial condition is very good. We had gone down to about $9,000. We're up at about $30,000. So it's because of you and because of our sponsors. And you know something? All that goes back to you. And it goes back in programs and things that we support that you ask us for.
My sister and I owned the Dairy Queen in Medford, New York. It was a dream come true for us to open that. But unfortunately, that dream turned into a nightmare when we were hit with a lawsuit in 2020. The lawsuit is based on a very old law that states that manual workers need to be paid weekly. We did not in a million years, nor did our payroll company, attorneys, accountants, anyone believe that our fast food workers would qualify as manual workers. So we did, in fact, pay biweekly. We support employees' rights. The issue was that, number one, there was no definition of what a manual worker was. And number two, they decided that the penalty for violation of this would be 100% of the employee's pay, late pay, retroactive for 6 years. We were being sued for $6 million. Now, remember, every single employee received every dime that they earned. They were just paid biweekly instead of weekly. I did everything I could to try to change this legislation. Governor Hochul had it on her desk for 24-25 to amend the legislation. Unfortunately, it did not pass in that budget. And as a result, we had to settle. We settled for $450,000. And it was devastating. I mean, it's my sister and I own this Dairy Queen, and we don't have $450,000. The update to that is that in May of this year, I got a call from my attorney saying, good news, bad news. The good news is Governor Hochul signed the legislation, and it's retroactive. So even pending lawsuits now were going to be dismissed. Unfortunately for us, because we had settled, it was too late for us. Oh, the other thing I should tell you is that of this $450,000, $300,000 of it is going to the attorneys and fees. Not my attorney, the plaintiff's attorney and fees. So, thanks to Bob, I'm here today telling our story. I told it last time as a cautionary tale to other businesses to make sure that they were aware of this. And today, Bob has invited me
QR code here.
to ask for your support and to get this information out to your chamber members and ask, listen, if every business owner gave $20, we could have this covered, and we would be forever thankful. So thank you for your time, and thank you for your support, Bob.
We know how vibrant Long Island is, but it's one of the oldest suburbs in the United States. In November, 72% of the voting public in Suffolk County supported taxing themselves an extra 1/8 of a penny to form a recurring pool of money to address installing sewers, and where properties can't be sewered, installing new upgraded IA systems to take cesspools out of the picture. Cesspools are simply waste, untreated, going into our drinking water source. It doesn't make sense. So I'm happy to say that we have an implementation plan. So for your purposes, please know that on October 15, there is a public hearing scheduled at the Riverhead County Center at 2 p.m., and that's to review the plan. There are 30 sewer projects. Most of them are county projects. Some are town and village projects. And then there are projects in there to increase the funding for IA systems. We have two sources of grant funding in Suffolk County. One is a county program, the other is a state program, which just received an incredible boost from the state of New York by a state law. So we're getting nearly 100% of these systems covered. That's how important it is to get these cesspools off of our properties. But for businesses' purposes, please know, these sewers are going in places where they're going to have the most bang for the money. And that is our downtowns where density is high, nitrogen going into the water is high, and they have the most effect. Businesses hooked up to sewers are a great thing. That includes expansion of business. It's a 35-year plan.
You know, local businesses can be challenged by the need to secure sanitary credits to expand their businesses. A wastewater credit, also known as a sanitary flow right, is the right permitted to a parcel of land to discharge additional sanitary waste. We want to hear any challenges that you've faced securing sanitary credits so that we can look at that and evaluate how to move forward and assist small businesses.
It becomes very cumbersome twice with tots. I do about 480 events. I rely on the police department, the chambers of commerce, leaders in the community to make it happen. Christmas is coming, and I need your help.
We're really excited because we're going to be kicking off the annual Cheer a Bus campaign. We just want to tell you a little bit about what Kids Need More does, raising money. There's fun and friendship for families, children and young people coping with illness, cancer, grief. One thing we've learned is that even if you get sick as a child, you're still a child, and childhood cannot wait. So we like to do over-the-top activities that help children realize the normalcy of childhood, even though they're going through the most grown-up things that you could ever even imagine. The second camp, there's two. There's one sleepaway camp for children with cancer, and then there's a day camp And these camps cost, a couple of $100,000 to run each summer. These camps are completely free. So that's the major mission of Kids Need More. And then we have this opportunity for businesses to be a part of Cheerbus.
Good morning, everybody. Greg May, Island Harvest Food Bank. September is Hunger Action Month, so I want to report to everybody very briefly. Island Harvest distributed 21.2 million pounds of food in our last fiscal year. That is a record amount of food that we have distributed to our neighbors in need across Long Island, more than during the pandemic, and nearly more than double, actually, what we were distributing in 2019. We're hosting our Turkey and Trimmings food drive beginning November 1st, sort of co-occurring with all of these other great food drives and activities, Toys for Tots, EJ's PJs, and we're looking forward to your support.
ESD has provided us with a $50,000 grant for workforce development. This is the first time we have ever gotten any grants from any government agency.
I work with the New York State Division of Minority Women Business Development, which is housed under Empire State Development. And as you could hear a little bit about, the purpose of Empire State Development is to ensure that we are incubating economic development throughout the state of New York. Governor Hochul has set a goal of 30% of contracts going to minority and women businesses. There is a lot of things that we've been trying to do. The first, when we came in again, was really about trying to revamp the certification process. So as a result of that, instead of 499 days, we tell everyone you should expect between 90 to 120 days. But in truth, it's actually taken us closer to, on average, about 70 days. Since 2024, I believe the numbers that we have now is that it's over 3,000 businesses that we've been able to get certified. And in fact, I know since 2023, the number is closer to 5,000 businesses. In addition to that, we've also tried to figure out ways to make it easier for people to understand the requirements that we have with certification. One of the programs that we launch is something that we call Trailblazers in Business, where what we will do is we will partner you with someone who can assist you with being able to complete the application that's there. So we have this network of entrepreneur assistance centers. We have this partnership with some of the small business development centers throughout the state of New York. And if you're interested, completely free, we will connect you with an individual there that will work with you with completing the application and making sure that you know whether or not this program is the right fit for you. That's there. For me, one of the important things is that we wanted to make sure that our governing law, which is Executive Law 15A, as well as our governing regulation, which is Title V, that we're doing everything we can to make sure that we're complying with those requirements. But at the same time, we figure out there are ways that we can be able to build it out and make it easier for folks to be able to go from starting an application to getting certified, and then to me, the really important thing is being able to make sure that you're working on some of these contract opportunities that are happening within the state of New York. We've had the highest and the second highest MW participation in the history of the program over these last 2 years. The program has been around for 37 years, and this year I think the number was 32.12% of contracts went to minority and women businesses. And then the year before, it was also in the 32% range. But now that we've been able to do a lot of those things, we're trying to figure out what we can do to be able to make it easier for folks to be able to get those contracts. So the three areas that we're focusing on is how do we increase support for our agencies and authorities, expanding access to capital and technical assistance, and of course also trying to take a more data-driven approach. Internally, we've done a lot to be able to expand our agency services team. I also started to mention a little bit that we've been doing a lot to work with a number of the entrepreneurs assistance centers out there, our small business development centers, because what we're trying to do is figure out how we can have a greater reach into the community. It's very hard being an entrepreneur and having a small business. So one of the things things that we've developed is we've created our own business growth accelerator. Last year we had 73 businesses that participated, and collectively that had led to just under $106 million in contracts that have happened within that 1 year period. If this is something that you're interested in, definitely look forward for next year, but we're through those growth accelerator programs. We have monthly trainings where we'll talk to you about how you could be able to position yourself. So a lot of this, again, is a real focus that I've been asking our team to really spend time on is how do we connect more prime contractors with capable and qualified MWBEs out there. So what we're doing is we're doing a lot to make sure that we're helping certified MWBEs expand their skills. The Growth Accelerator is one of the examples that we have, but we have monthly trainings on all these things that are happening. We're also in the next quarter going to be starting to launch a few things as part of like our MWBE University, so that folks will be able to understand what it's like to actually do work and successfully be able to get work with the state of New York. We're also assisting MWBEs with all the financing support. There are all of these opportunities, there are all of these projects and programs that are developed to be able to help MWBEs and help small businesses generally be able to get the working capital they need to be able to take on some of these opportunities. Internally, there's a lot that we're doing to work and be able to give the assistance and support needed to the agencies and authorities. So that goes into providing a clear definition of what constitutes a good faith effort. Again, each of the vendors has a responsibility to make a good faith effort to try to meet that 30% goal that's set. We're standardizing, best practices out there, and we're also we're working on developing a central location for all agencies and authorities to be able to connect with some of the opportunities that are there. Finally, as we hear, we're doing a lot to be able to do things such as update our Title V regulations, engaging in targeted outreach into MWBEs that are out there, and making it easier for folks to be able to get the NET codes that they need so that they can be able to work with our MWBEs. These are some of the long-term goals that we've heard about. We're trying to expand our directory. We are at about 9,500. Increase the amount of annual procurements that are going to MWBEs out there. Increase the number of individual MWBEs, so it's not just the same small number of MWBEs that are getting these contracts that are out there. And then finally, a lot of this will also go into one of our goals is like eliminating the disparity within the disparity, so that all the different groups that qualify for our program are getting the benefits of the program.
If you haven't gotten the message, listen to me, I'm going to use it. Someone say money on the table.
Money on the table.
Okay, so there's money on the table. In case you get up here. Get up here. There's money on the table.
First, we got to thank our sponsors. The sponsors in the room that support the Suffolk Chambers. We got PSEG. We got National Grid. I know AT&T's out back, and there's many others. I chair the Suffolk County Downtown Revitalization Committee. We've had 5 meetings. We've gotten probably about 45 different recommendations that focused on 6 key areas: promotion, fast-tracking getting through county regulations and services, housing, pedestrian safety and infrastructure, and transportation infrastructure, getting grants to local businesses, and also wastewater treatment. We are pretty much done with the report, so we'll issue it real soon. We got the clearance and the sign-off. Most importantly, though, is we're incorporating the recommendations to the report into the capital plan, into various policies and legislations. We were directed by the county exec to work with Discover Long Island, and we've been having some dialogues with them. They are opening up their website to local chambers. The 250th anniversary, Barbara mentioned that. Everyone get involved in that. That impacts all our communities. So get involved in the process on that. The county's press team is out on that. There's many committees working on that. Right now in New York State, the Downtown Revitalization Initiative and the New York Forward RFP is out to answer that. So for the downtowns that have not gotten the funding yet, Riverhead, Amityville, Kings Park, and Central Islip did get the funding, as did Bellport, and Lindenhurst got the small New York Forward grant. For downtowns that have not gotten it, go in for it. Long Island Main Street News, we're still doing the shows, so come see us. There'll be October dates to tape. We get 800 to 15,000 views. We've done over 800 interviews. We've had many of you. We haven't had you. Please come on down. We're working with Newsday on the Dangerous Roads series, so trying to make the roads safe for pedestrians, bicyclists, right? We're working on walking audits with AARP, so we'll do that in your downtown. We are working on the Long Island Greenway, which is a trail from Manhattan to Montauk. On Light right away. So that is going to be a bike and walking trail, which will be a great tourist destination for the communities along the route. October 22nd, we're having our Long Island Main Street Alliance meeting. We're going to have National Grid featured. We'll also have PSEG and other business resources there. We're doing downtown Farmingdale. Stay tuned to breakfast. Just see me after if you want to be invited. And then lastly, December 5th is our Smart Growth Summit. That is at the Crest Hollow Country Club. We have about 1,200 people. We had 100 elected officials. We'll have 20 different breakout sessions, all town supervisors. Most importantly, the theme this year is on how to make Long Island more affordable. We're talking about tailored, streamlined issues to make things affordable for real Long Islanders and driven by real Long Islanders and real communities.
I'm Ron Ansari. I do economic development downstate New York for National Grid. All right, so the first grant I'll mention is our Cinderella grant. The Cinderella grant is meant to help incentivize downtown development. If there are vacant sites in commercial areas, National Grid has a grant, a matching grant, to help offset some of the capital costs associated with it. The important piece for our Cinderella grant, it just has to be a commercial component. So mixed use is fine if the first floor is commercial. If a project is in a disadvantaged, a state recognized disadvantaged community, they can get an extra 25%. The other thing that we can do that's relatively new is we have an urban corridor improvement, kind of commercial corridor improvement. That's more placemaking grants, think more bids. We're working with the Huntington Station bid on that and the Port Washington bid. But for bids, for chambers, if you have some sort of placemaking, we could do tree beds, lighting. It has to be like a real capital improvement. If you're trying to remediate a brownfield and locate a project at a previous brownfield, we have a matching grant up to $250,000. Cinderella is also up to $250,000 to fund demo, remediation. Veronica will talk about her equivalent, but very frequently, our specs are very similar. So if she's able to give a Main Street, I'm usually able to give a Cinderella, and it's really a big help for businesses.
The last time I was here, I presented information about 3 of our economic development programs: Main Street Revitalization, Community Thrive, and the Vacant Space Program. I am so proud to say that year to date, we have now partnered with over 400 businesses, 416 to be exact, and we have paid out over $3.1 million to each of these small to medium businesses. Today, though, I do want to highlight my Business First advocacy program. And part of what we do is we supply support beyond just economic development, but with small to medium businesses getting through their day-to-days. I am here with a physical copy of this welcome kit that we are giving out and sending out to all of our small to medium businesses. Why is this piece of information so important? Because it covers A to Z of all the information you need to know as a small to medium business owner in your partnership with PSEG Long Island. So we kick off with economic development. There's information on how to actually open your account, how to deal with safety issues, how to save money with energy efficiency. But my favorite page of this entire book is actually the last page, where it lists out who your direct point of contact is, and that is identifying your Business First advocate. It is www.psegliny.com/Business First. I also want to plug the fact that we have been doing webinars all year. I don't want to ask around the room who has seen them, but I will tell you this. If you happen to miss them due to running your businesses, guess what? We've featured them now on our website. So go to Business First online, click on Business First events, and you will see a listing of all of our informational webinars that you can view at your leisure so that you can learn more about energy efficiency. You can learn more about the Business First Advocacy Program. You can learn more about electric vehicles, and you can learn more about what we do and how we do what we do to support our small to medium business population. Community Thrive is our partnership with the local chambers. We provide up to $10,000 to each of our local chambers of commerce to help you provide an outdoor beautification to your main street. So whether you are installing benches or doing trash receptacles or improving the street signs, collectively, the purpose and intention is to attract our local shoppers and visitors to Long Island to purchase from you, our mom and pop shops here on Long Island on our main streets.
We are working on a project where we're educating businesses about their offering employees childcare solutions. 88% of working mothers will prioritize childcare when they're choosing a job, so it is a retention and an attraction issue. So there's a lot you can do. I'll be talking more about it. There are tax incentives, state and federal tax incentives available. You can partner with an organization like Child Care Council of Suffolk if you're interested.
I'm a community manager with Chase Bank. I'm actually a social worker. My whole job with the bank is to raise the financial well-being of the community. So I do that by partnering with organizations, small businesses, nonprofits, schools, and I do free workshops to teach people about credit, budgeting, saving, investing. My colleague, Fenny, who left earlier, she's a senior business consultant, and through Chase, we offer complimentary coaching for small businesses. So together we do a variety of workshops, and then she offers the one-on-one coaching for 4 months for small businesses to get your business to where you want it to be, whatever your goals are, acquiring property or whatever your goals are. So connect with me. We have a series of workshops in the fall. They're all free. We're offering them in person and also on Zoom.
In accordance with our bylaws, we need to have an election, right? So what I want to do is we need to have nominations, and obviously we're doing this thing ad hoc. We want to make sure we're in compliance with our bylaws, and obviously we also want to make sure that you have a chance to know who you have representing you. So without further ado, I'm the chair. Out of that, we have Silvano Alosio, Vice President. Peter Bottui is our treasurer. Jody Caravella is our secretary, and David Kenny is our honorary chairman. Now, Eric is also the head of the advisory board. So these are your executive board members, and we want to make sure that you know who they are. This is the board slate that we're putting up. Can I ask that for a motion to accept this slate? For a second? Okay, a second. And any discussion. If there's anyone that wants to come on our executive board, please, feel free. You can run off the floor, of course. But we also want to make sure that, if you're not involved on the executive side, but if you're not involved on the board side, there's also advisory board. So I'm going to ask for we asked for 2 motions. If there's any nominations from the floor? No? No? Going once, twice? Closing? Okay. If I could just ask for an acclamation of this election for the executive board. Be careful what you don't ask for. You might get it, right? So a show of hands. Aye? Aye. Nay? It's okay. And any abstentions? Okay. I'm going to ask for a motion to accept this slate of advisory boards. Motion? Anyone? Motion? Who wants to make a motion? Motions. What's your name? Right, Babylon, right? Oh, there we go. And second? Dairy Queen. Okay, second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your work, guys.
Don't forget, obviously, we got December 10th, right in our backyard in Patchogue. We got St. Joseph's College. We're going to have our next meeting, so make sure you join us. Great venue. Should be a super time there. And so that's it. We're going to close out.